All GigaFactories weekly progress, side by side, for the third week of March. I'm Brian. Welcome to my Tesla weekend. Giga Shanghai. In the stamping pit, we can see so much more construction in the steel frames surrounding it. A substantial amount of concrete has been poured, as we expected it would, and the whole place is just kind of coming together. There's some concrete done, and a lot more rebar. Like, most of the rebar is done. This whole area is just screaming along. The northeast building is looking fantastic. It's getting most of its roof work done. It's getting a lot of finished roof, and it's closing off. You can see in the bottom there's way more roof coverage, and it looks like they might be pouring concrete there. No, I don't think so. But it's looking fantastic. And the roof trusses are essentially done. That's great. We still don't know what this building would be, but I would love to hear from you guys in the comments. What do you think this building is going to do? Is this the new battery plant? Is this a mirror of the 4680 pilot line in Cato Road? What do you think? Did you know that if you hit the like button within the first 90 seconds of a video, it helps the YouTube algorithm? I don't know if it's true, but I've heard that. So if you like it or hate it, feel free to rate it now. The large steel extension to the north of Phase 2 is coming along fantastically. The once skeleton, the last week a skeleton part, is now, mostly covered in roofing material. Along the edge between the existing building and this one, you can see they're framing up the roof. It is a contiguous building and will be part of the whole assembly plant. And it's just looking so gosh darn close to complete. They're also tearing out the cement to the north of it, suggesting they may continue growth from there. The sliver wedge is showing massive growth. The phase 2.5-ish building is extending further to the east, and the section between those two buildings is filling in quickly with steel. It appears all the foundation work is done, and now they're just dealing with the erection of the steel. We also don't know what's going to go on here. Is this the design center? I don't think so, based on the strength of the steel, but I'd be curious to hear what you guys think. And pardon me, but is any part of this property going to be left without a massive building atop it? You can see last week there were footings still in the works, and now not only are they done, but they're just building on top of them. You can see what a difference a single week can make in Shanghai. Don't freak out if I go a bit without pointing anything out. A lot of times the progress speaks for itself, and you just kind of want to watch it happen. And it also looks like they're tearing up the parking lot a bit. Maybe they're going to fix the drainage, add drainage, or build something here. It is unknown. Giga Berlin. This time-lapse, courtesy of Tobias Lind, is, showing some great progress, I guess. It's kind of hard to tell because a lot of the progress is moving inside. They are apparently still working to dig out the foundation for some new building to the east of the motor works, but we don't know what it's for yet. If I had to guess, I'd say battery, since that's something they're planning, but wasn't involved in the initial phase of the building. But what do you guys think? What is going to be put in this new section they're excavating? On the east side of the building, you can see a little bit more work is done. It's kind of hard to tell because so much of the work was already done. The fire escapes are in, the, siding is mostly up. It's looking pretty great. They've done some more work on the switchyard, but, who knows what that's for? We can't tell from here. From the front of the building, you can see the work that was going on appears kind of done. Most of the loading bay doors are in. All of the windows are in. The roof sections are looking done. They're getting the last bits of siding up on the top, and they'll soon be adding it lower down. It's just great. It's going so gosh darn fast. And the reason I'm using these time lapses from a few days ago rather than the more current weekend shots is because these show you how many workers are actually out there on site, and it is a ton. Look at those differences between the top and bottom in terms of how many loading bay doors are installed. Huge thanks to my Patreons who get early access, bonus content, help keep the channel running, and get access to all the videos ad-free for as little as $1 a month. Welcome to David Lang at the Coolio level, to Jason Rogers at the very cool level, and to Bert Boyd at the cool level. At the north end of the site, you can see, it's slightly more further along, I guess. They're working. They're doing stuff. The work on tearing down the overpass is essentially done. There's some more panels up at that northwest cube. Materials being loaded into the building. It's, there's a lot of work going on. Can't tell you what it's all for, but it is exciting to watch. For an added slice of deep-fried funzarella, what do they do to get all of the material, like gravel, out of a railway truck, a railway car? What they do is put a bobcat inside of it. And how do they do that? And how do they move it from car to help? Well, they do it by picking it up and moving it. And then the dude pops back in from the adjacent car, hops back in, and he's back to work. Giga Texas. I'm not saying Texas is my favorite site, but Texas is my favorite site. This week they've got a lot more work done to add roof rafters between the concrete casting pit and the main structure. And if you look further down, you'll see that in the distance, all of the roof segments have been attached. Now, this doesn't give them complete protection from the weather, in part because there are no walls, but mostly because it still leaks like crazy. This is not the final version of the roof. This is just the first layer. It will still help them toward the objective of doing interior work, but it's not the end-all be-all. If you're following my weekly GigaMath tracker, the roof is only counted as 50% done when it reaches this point, and then slowly ticks up from there along with the interior completion. At the southern stamping concrete cathedral, you'll see the wall panels are almost entirely done, at least on the east side, and mostly along the south as well, though not completely. This has allowed me on the tracker to count quite a bit more interior space as dried in, which is not truly dried in, but dried in by Tesla standards, at least for it to count towards future completion targets. Not much to see in the big southwest prairie area, but, it's moving along as well. The steel structure on the west side has advanced quite a bit south, not as much as we've seen in past weeks, but it's moving along. What you can't really see in these videos is that the interior concrete work has moved along substantially throughout the site. On the roofs, on the ground floor, on the higher floors, even in the footings, it is substantial. On the west side here, you can see that there are more roof segments attached. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. It really helps out the channel. At this corner, we can see a few more roof segments put in and some removed, but what you really see is massive amounts of foundation work have been completed, specifically those long, narrow pits, which have mud underneath them, which is a term for a different sort of concrete, as well as rebar, and in a lot of it, the top layer of concrete as well. This central area is now not just a couple of concrete panels, but it is completely closed in on a 3x1 square. And by 3x1, I mean, look at the size of that dude. It is massive. Look at all those cranes just poised to attack. They're in formation. This area is going to be going up right quick. On the east side of the power lines, the graveled area, which was about to be ready to be used for parking, you can see has some cars in it, but during the week it has about 4 times as many. Something like 800 to 900 cars can be spotted on site, and if you guys are interested, let me know, and I'll do a video where I go through and count all the cars on site. I'll do it. You'll see. The switchyard is moving so fast. It has gone from, prepped and had a bit of framework to looking like it's, half done. It's got vastly more steel in place. It's got more isolation equipment. It's got towers. It's looking pretty developed. On the west side of the highway, they continue clearing ground. For what purpose, we do not know. Will this be headquarters for Tesla or SpaceX or the Boring Company or Hyperloop? We just don't know. Any of those could be plausible answers, or could it be a new factory for the Tesla Model 2? We already know the Cybertruck is going to be built on the east side of the highway, but we don't know what this is going to be, and I'm curious. What do you guys think? Let me know. What did I miss or misunderstand? Give me an earjam in the comments, and stay tuned, stay juicy, and I can't wait to hear from you clever robots in the flippity floppity future. That's a thing. Pretty sure.